Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. This is Anyam. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm a Filipino nurse currently working and living here in Switzerland. And I'm sharing you guys my experiences, my adventures, and how is life looks like here, or how is it working here as a nurse. So, well, my story time for today is about my nursing job. Yes. So, I am currently in a neuro department. So, I want to share to you the routine of work there as a nurse, or here they call it diplomierte Pflegefachfrau kapag babae, and then diplomierte Pflegefachmann naman kapag lalaki. So let's start with the shift or with the working hours. So Frudins or a morning shift, the time is from 7 to 4 p.m. And the afternoon shift, the Spätdienst, they start we start from 2:30 p.m. to 11 o'clock. And night shift or Nachtdienst, we start at 10:30 p.m. until 7 a.m. So if you are working 100%, it's a 42 hours per week. And it depends on the schedule, of course, how it is made with your head nurse. But in a month, you are allowed to have a Freibunsch, o yung tinatawag nilang your wish, if which date you want to have off days or free days. And there's also a Schichtwunsch, or on that month, for example, you only want to work morning shift or afternoon shift. It's also allowed, but you have to take note on that it depends on the personnel during that time, and it depends to your head nurse as well if okay dun sa team. So pero yung Freibunsch, which is your wish to have your free days off, ano naman, lagi naman siyang nag-granted. So, let's start with the morning shift. Yeah, it's morning shift. Doon nangyayari lahat ng mga, what do you call that? Mga kaguluhan, mostly. Ito yung pinaka, I think for me, the toxic part of the shift. Well, it depends, syempre, iba-iba naman yan, but mostly sa morning shift, doon madalas ang maraming trabaho. Do you agree? Yes. Yeah, so we start at 7, but we usually come 15 minutes earlier to read the documentation, to read the diagnosis of the patients, to review everything. Kasi here it's all digital, and it's all in the computer. You have each one has a laptop, or each one has the a big computer with the whole part of it, yung mga materials nandun na rin. So yun yung pinaka start. So you have to be earlier, mga 15 minutes earlier before the Übergabe or the report from the night shift, because ang night shift, ang report nila hindi na siya in detailed. They only say what is important, what happened during the nights or during the afternoon shift before that. And yung mga diagnosis, medications, and kung ano mga installation ng patient, hindi niya na yun babanggitin kasi nandun na yun sa chart, nandun na yun sa file ng pasyente. Babasahin mo na yun, and before start the report, syempre iti-take note mo na yun lahat. So, mabilis na lang yung report ng night shift. Bibigyan niya na lang yung mga important details kung undruhig ba last night yung pasyente, kung may pain ba yung pasyente, kung pasyente ba na napunta sa other station or is not pa, mga emergency, yun na lang. So, yun yung mga details na kung bakit plague anamnese, yung mga history ng patient, nandun na yun lahat sa chart. So, ikaw na magbabasa nun, and then you have to take note all of that. So yun. So, after the report ng night shift, of course, you prepare your medications. So, ang mga medication usually here in Switzerland, naka-prepared na siya. But you have to check it. You have to control it if lahat tama. And then you have to take note on your documentation, of course. And then, syempre, i-ready mo kung ano yung mga infusion na kailangan, na antibiotics, mga painkillers na kailangan ng mga pasyente. I-ready mo na yun siya before ka pumasok dun sa pasyente. And then, after that, syempre, you go to the patient's room and then you introduce yourself. It's very important that you introduce yourself to them here before sa mga old work ko in other countries. Dahil toxic, hindi na nagagawa. But here, it is always, what you call that, parang polite way and professional way to introduce yourself to them and what you're gonna do. Well, no, nag-aaral naman tayo in our student time, di ba? Yun naman yung lagi. You have to introduce yourself. You have to check the patient's name and patient's birthday and whatsoever. So you have to introduce yourself, and then you have to explain to the patients what you're gonna do, their medications, and the therapy that they're going to do on that day. Isusulat mo rin siya sa board. There's a board, and then isusulat mo, for example, physio, ergotherapy, logo, or something. You have to write it down so the patient also knows what's gonna happen on that day. Hindi na sila tanong ng tanong, o hindi na sila magbabuzzer just to ask you what's next. So, yun. And then, of course, after you give your medications, and then the hotelery or yung mga nagtatrabaho sa kitchen, food area, house beer shop, syempre pupunta na sila to give the breakfast for the patient. Tapos, yun, mag-breakfast na yung mga patient. And then, during that time na nag-breakfast yung mga patient, syempre, dun mo i-check ulit yung documentation mo, and then i-notified mo yung mga medication na naibigay mo na, and then yung procedure na gagawin mo. For example, in 10 o'clock you have procedure, so i-ready mo na yon para after ng breakfast ng pasyente, ready na yon, tuloy-tuloy na yung work mo. So hindi na masyadong, kasi may mga every time may mga bigla na lang dumadating na hindi mo alam. So during the time na medyo wala ka pang ginagawa, you just have to ready it already. Yeah. So nakalimutan ko pala yung nurse to patient ratio. So usually in a ward where I work right now, 1 nurse is equivalent to 4 patients. Sometimes kapag puno yung stations or may mga sick leave na mga nurses is 1:5. Pinaka-maximum na yung 5 in a morning shift. And usually 1:4. And then there are some students, practicants, and FAGE. So, sa morning shift namin, we have zone. So, it was 4 zones. And each of the zones, we have diplomerte, or what you call the nurse in charge. So, have 4 nurses, and then there are also some students, sometimes 2 students, sometimes 3 FAGE or 4 FAGE, pakisunhay ang tawag doon. So, usually mga 10 personnel during the morning shift, 10 or 11, ganyan. Yun. So, after ng breakfast ng mga patient, I'm just talking into a ward department. Yeah, may mga patient na they need help para, sa pagkain, yung mga may problema sa sluk-sturungan or yung mga matatanda na, and then you you need to help them, or the students or practicants, you have to delegate them the task. And then after that, dun ka na mag-i-start ng Pflege. Yeah, Pflege, where you watch the patients, so may mga kailangan ng help, diba? Change their dresses, or yung mga Verband, yung mga dressings, kapag may mga wounds sila, yun, gagawin mo na siya. After that, change ng beddings. Yeah, and here, may katulong kada practicants or the students. Sila usually yun gumagawa nun. And then, isasabihin mo na lang kung sino. Siyempre, may kailangan. But of course, may mga patient na mga bedridden. So, kailangan dalawa kayo. Or may mga patients, for example, on our department, mga stroke patients na hindi na nila kaya tumayo mag-isa. So, you need help as well. So, you need to transfer them from bed to wheelchair, for example. And then after you've done that part, yun yung medyo kailangan ng medyo mahabang oras, kasi you have to take time and you have to address your patient's need. And then after that, magkakaroon na ng bisita or doctor's visit. So in our area is 9:30. So 9 o'clock a.m. I huddle. It's huddle. So huddle means all the nurses or all the personnel in the zones will go to the station, and then the head nurse or the head nurse on that shift, or the charge nurse on that shift, they will ask each and everyone if it's kung sino pang may kailangan ng help, or sino yung mga kailangan pa ng mga procedures na hindi pa nagagawa. For example, halimbawa kinulang ka ng time, hindi mo pa nakuwanan ng blood si patient ganto, or yung isang patient mo medyo disoriented and kailangan mo lagyan ng Dowler catheter or something. So, dun mo sasabihin yun sa huddle board. So, kapag medyo okay naman yung work mo, sabihin mo, okay, I can also help the another zone if they need me, and then you give a hand dun sa mga other zone na kailangan ng help. So, after nung huddle, 9:30 is the doctor's visit. So, before doctor's visit, kapag hindi ka naman na toxic sa zone mo, you can have some coffee or tea or eat some bread or whatsoever. 15 minutes for the breakfast, or just have drink and rest. And then, yun, 9:30 sa doctor's visit. So, medyo mahaba ang doctor's visit. So, minsan naglalas yan until 10:30, mga 1 hour, 2 hours, depende kung gaano ka, ano ang pasyente mo, gaano ka off-bendig, or gaano kung marami na silang mga procedures, illnesses, and you need to take time, and syempre you have to be there with the doctors and evaluate each and everything. For example, sa mga documentation, for example, sa medication, kailangan pa ba ni pasyente ng ganito? Can you stop this, for example, stop this fluid kasi maano naman uminom yung patient, okay na naman siya, ganun, may mga part. Tapos, syempre, i-explain mo rin sa doctor, so may mga question and answer. I-ask nilang, how's the patient? How's the zustand? So, kailangan, syempre, alam mo rin kung ano yung history ng pasyente mo. Just in case mag-ask yung doctor, syempre, may maisasagot ka. Tapos, kailangan yung mga procedure, minsan kasi may mga procedure na hindi naman na kailangan, pero in-order pa nila, syempre you have to address it as well. May mga medication, for example, na in-order na hindi naman kailangan, you have to ask and you have to address it as well. Kung i-continue pa ba, kung for example, antibiotics, hanggang kailan, ganyan, para just in case mag-ask yung pasyente, alam mo rin yung sasabihin. So, kayo ng doctor muna, one-to-one, i-check nyo yung document, yung files ng pasyente, and then after that, kung may mga question ka, may mga question siya, na-address na, pupunta na kayo ngayon sa pasyente. So, pagpasok nyo dun sa pasyente, tatanungin naman ng doktor, syempre, what happened, or kung may mga questions siya, kung nararamdaman niya or whatsoever, and then magbibigay naman ng mga, the next is magbibigay na ng mga orders yung doctor. So, i-carry out mo naman ngayon yung mga doctor's order. So, yun yung medyo, nag-ano rin ng medyo, nagko-consume ng mahabang time. Kasi you have to carry out doctor's order, tapos i-check yung documentation, yung files, may babaguhin ka sa mga kurbe. For example, madali na lang naman kasi lahat naman na digital. So, talaga, very practical. And, ayun, tas kapag may mga kailangan pa yung pasyente, nagbabuzzer sila, syempre, pupunta-punta ka doon, di ba? And then, before you know it, it's already 12 o'clock. So, lunchtime na. So, ngayon, hindi lahat sabay-sabay magla-lunch. Syempre, hatiyan. The charge nurse will divide the personnel in 2 breaks. So, the first one is from 11:45, wait a minute, 11:45 to 12:30. And then the second part of the break is 12:45 to 1:30 p.m. Yeah, 12:45 to 1:30 p.m. So, different institutions, syempre different rules. So, I'm just I'm sharing to you or explaining on our department. So, ganon. So, after ng break mo, if you're on the first break, syempre, ibibigay mo na dun sa ibang zone yung patient mo. I mean, ililay over mo muna, sasabihin mo, eto, yung mga patient ko, patient 1, patient 2, patient 3, patient 4, ang mga kailangan nila, or wala ka namang gagawin, ganyan, pag nag-pass lang sila, just to check out. Yun, i-delegate mo sa kanila. Kasi, kapag break, kapag ka nag-buzzer yung patient mo, hindi ka pupunta. Ang pupunta doon is yung napag-delegatean mo ng mga patients mo. So, ganun ang rule here. So, you don't need to break your break. Break your break. Hindi katulad, di ba, sa iba, I mean, sa Germany, sa Pilipinas, kapag talagang nagbabuzzer yung pasyente mo, tatayo ka, punta ka sa pasyente. So, here, hindi ganon. And then, if your break is finished, and then, gano'n naman, yung ibang zone na nurses, i-delegate nila sa'yo yung patients nila para makapag-break sila, and then, yon, ikaw rin yung responsible sa patient nila during that time na wala sila. So, yun naman, very smooth naman pag sa ward area. So, there are times na maraming trabaho, maraming mga admission as well. But priority talaga is to have that break at least more than 30 minutes na makapag-break ka during the lunch time. So, minsan tumatawag yung charge nurse sa ibang station pag kailangan talaga ng help. So, may mga pupunta doon in order for you to have your break. And then, 1:30 p.m., there's a huddle again. So, lahat ulit pupunta sa nurse station, and then you also with your other students or practicants, and then tatanungin ulit ng charge nurse sino yung may kailangan ng help, and then sino yung mga madi-discharge tomorrow or may madi-discharge ba today, kasi diba natapos na yung doctor's visit. So, sasabihin mo doon, for example, kung merong operation yung patient mo tomorrow or today, so sasabihin mo doon sa huddle. May huddle board yun, and then parang may magnet type na ilalagay doon. Halimbawa, si patient number 1, bukas discharge siya, so may magnet for discharge, ilalagay doon. Para yung iba alam, ay okay, madi-discharge pala yung ganitong pasyente. Tapos, for example, si patient 2, tomorrow, operation siya, so operation na magnet, and then kailangan syempre NPO siya on the night before, so lalagay mo rin doon NPO. So kapag dumating yung mga afternoon shift, yun ang una nila kasi tinitingnan yung board, so makikita nila, okay, so manonote na nila yon. And then yun, 1:30 huddle, and then balik ka ulit sa work, sa pasyente, documentation. So, that time, bibigyan mo na yung mga medication pa na kailangan, mga due meds na kailangan pa, tapos mga procedures na kailangan pa. I-ready mo rin yung mga pasyente sa mga ibang mga procedures na kailangan nila. Tapos, mostly dun dumadating din yung mga ergotherapy, logo, so mga different therapies. So, napupunta din sila sa'yo, nag-a-ask how is the patient, ganyan. So, yun. I-address mo rin yung mga kailangan ng ibang personnel. So, actually, as a nurse, ikaw talaga ang pinaka-core. Kasi ikaw ang laging hinahanap. Ikaw ang hinahanap ng pasyente, ikaw ang hinahanap ng doctor, ng ibang medical professional, physiotherapy, logotherapy, ergotherapy. Laging hinahanap sino ang nurse nito. Sino sustending na nurse nito. And 2 p.m. to 2 p.m. yun na nag-i-start ang mga visiting hours. So, dumarating na ang mga relatives, family ng pasyente. So, syempre, pag dumating sila, si nurse din ang hahanapin. So, ikaw talaga. Ikaw talagang pinaka-core nun. So, yun. After that, syempre, i-close mo na yung charge mo before dumating yung mga afternoon shift. And syempre, pupunta ka rin sa patient mo. Make sure before ka magbigay or mag-close ng chart mo is that na-check mo yung patient mo, na-check mo lahat ng installation nila, na okay lahat. And also the room, you have to check the room if may mga kalat, may mga unnecessary things na dapat hindi nandun, ilabas mo na. So, burahin mo na yung mga sinulat mo dun sa... hindi mo pala bubarahin. Actualize it or... what you call that in English? Actualize it, sorry ano mo ulit yung board mo, kung natapos na ba yung ganong procedure, i-check mo, or whatsoever. Ganon. So... I'm sorry na gahalo-halo yung mga Tagalog, English, and German. And yun na. So, 2:30 p.m. darating na ang afternoon shift. Pero hindi ka pa magbibigay ng report sa kanila kasi magbabasa pa yan sila ng chart ng pasyente. Mag-take down notes pa nila ang mga importanteng details. So, ang start ng report from morning shift to afternoon shift is 3 p.m. Yes, 3 p.m. doon ka na magbibigay ng report mo to your afternoon shift sa nurse na susunod. So, ganun din kasi nabasa na naman nila yung chart, nakita na nila yung mga nagawa mo or nagawa that time, yung mga bagong doctor's order. Ngayon, ang sasabihin mo na lang during your report, yung mga important things na kailangan nilang gawin and yung mga important things na nangyari during that day. Halimbawa, ito si patient nag-faint or itong si patient hindi pa nakakadumi, ilang days na binigyan ko ng ganito, ganyan, hindi pa rin nag-work. So, I think you need to give another more, for example. Yun, ganun. So, yun, yung mga importante na lang, mabilis na lang ang report. And then, after na report, kung may question siya, syempre, i-address mo yung question niya. And then, after that, after the report, pupunta kayo ngayon dalawa sa patient. And then, i-introduce mo yung colleagues mo. Ito na yung afternoon shift, and then we are changing shift, and I'm finished, I'm going home, or whatsoever. Very, diba, professional, very polite. Yun, tapos ka na dun sa shift mo, kung may mga questions pa siya, kung may mga kailangan pa siya, ganyan. And magpapaalam ka na dun sa patients. So, yun, tapos na yung shift mo, and then yung documentation mo, i-rundown mo na lang kung may mga nakalimutan ka pa or something. Ayun. Tapos, i-close mo na siya. Tapos na. So, 3:30 p.m. for example, pag may dumating na admission, hindi na yan siya sa morning shift. So, automatic yan sa afternoon shift na yan. But, pag dumating ang admission ng 3 o'clock, sa'yo pa rin yan. So, minsan, yun. Unlucky. Yeah. Ganun yun. Ganun ang rules and work. And sometimes, kung marami ka talagang whole day, talagang toxic talaga, ang dami mong ginawa, hindi ka masyado nakapag-documentation, gagawin mo na lang siya at the end of the shift, and then mag-overtime ka. So, isusulat mo na yung overtime period mo. Kapag ka nag-overtime ka, you have to write it down para nakakount yung hours ng overtime mo. And bayad naman yun. Yun, so 4 p.m. yun, tapos na. Sometimes 3:30, tapos na ako, ganyan. Tapos ka na sa charting mo. Okay na, ano na yan, chika-chika na minsan. And then, of course, before you leave, you have to ask other nurses sa other zones if they also need help. Lalo na dun sa mga area, lalo na dun sa area na toxic yung zone. So, i-ask mo sila ano pa yung kailangan nilang help before you leave. It's important, parang ano yun eh, teamwork, ano. Yeah. I-ask mo kung may kailangan pa sila, kung may magagawa ka ba for them kasi tapos ka na and you're okay. And then they delegate the task, and then pag wala na naman, you can also leave naman earlier. And then isusulat mo lang ulit to that time zone. Parang merang time. Kasi dito sa wino-workan namin, wala kaming chip. So it's automatic. Kapag late ka dumating, you have to write it down. Kapag maaga umalis, you have to write it down as well. And then inaano na lang yun ng head nurse namin. They input it na lang sa computer. So kung alis ka ng mga 3:30, siyempre meron ka pa 30 minutes. So isulat mo yun doon. Pero kung alis ka naman mga, for example, 3:50 p.m., 10 minutes to 4 na lang, hindi mo na kailangan isulat yung kasi mag-change ka pa naman ng ano mo eh, ng clothes mo. So dagdag pa rin naman sa oras yun pag nag-change ka ng clothes. So, syempre, pag alis ka ng mga 4:30 p.m., 5 p.m., so overtime na yon, you have to write it down. So, yun lang. That's it. Yun yung morning shift. Yun lang yung kinwento ko kasi medyo ano yun eh. Medyo yun yung shift na medyo ano talaga, maraming ginagawa. So, yun yung, on our hospital na pinagtatrabahoan ko. Ganun ang routine. So, mostly sa mga canton hospital, government hospital, ganun din ang routine nila kasi gusto nila ang routine ng bawat canton hospital iisa. So, ang documentation nila, same din, parehas din. So, kaya yun. Kaya maganda. So, that's it, guys. Grabe, mahaba na yung nakwento ko. Yeah, and kung may mga comment, questions, feedback, just comment down below and I'll try my best to answer you back, guys. And yeah, thank you so much and I see you again for my next video. Bye!